Hey guys, so today we're just going to go over slope a little bit more. Some people were having trouble with slope yesterday, so I wanted to go through it with you guys and have you guys all start with this assignment, and hopefully this helps clear up some of your slope questions that you guys had for me yesterday. So what you guys are going to be doing on this assignment is you're going to look at this graphed line, and you're going to try to write an equation for it in y equals mx plus b form or slope-intercept form. So just a friendly reminder that this m stands for your slope, and this b stands for your y-intercept. So the thing I always like to start with, because it's usually the easiest part, is I always know that wherever the line crosses the y-axis at is going to be where my b is, where my y-intercept is. So my y-intercept is 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 3 for my y-intercept because that's what my b is. So now I just need to work on finding this slope, which I know we had some trouble with yesterday. So this line already has 2 points plotted. We don't necessarily have to use those 2 points though. I have a couple of points here for you. What you want to do is find points on the line where it crosses evenly on the y and the x. So ones where it crosses these intersections instead of you don't want to use this point because it doesn't cross at the intersection of the x and y. So I'm actually going to use one other point that I think might be a little bit easier to see. I'm going to use this guy. So I'm going to use this point that I already know where it crosses my y, and then I'm going to use this next point that it crosses evenly. And so to find your slope, all you have to do is start at this point here. Notice how it's going upwards. So this is going to be a positive slope, and I just have to count how many it goes up and then how many it goes over. So 1, 2, it goes up 2, and then it goes over 1. So then my slope, my rise over run, would be 2 over 1. Another way we can think about this is the difference in y over the difference in x. And so to do that, I can just use the 2 points that I picked. So my first point on my y-axis is 0, 3, because that's where our point is. And then my second point is 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 5. And so this is my point 1, this is my point 2. So to find the slope, I just have to subtract my rise, which would be my y points, over my run. So 0.2, 5 minus 3 would be 2, and then 1 minus 0. So if the counting doesn't really make a lot of sense to you and you're more mathematically like to think about it in equations a little bit easier, you can do it this way too. So that's 5 minus 3 was 2, and then 1 minus 0, which would be 1. So I still got that 2 over 1. So then I'm just going to go in and change my m to my slope, which is 2. So then there's my equation right there. Let's do another one. So based on what you guys see here, again, I always like to start by just doing my intercept because I think that's the easiest part. So I'm going to do y equals mx plus, and then figure out where it crosses my y-axis at. So it crosses at 1, 2. So then my b would be 2. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in since I know what it is already. So this one's going to be a little bit trickier because, as you guys can see, it's a negative slope, but I'm still going to try to find those points where it crosses. A good one to always use is where it crosses your y at, because that usually will cross evenly. So I'm going to put 1 point there. And then another point to use, again, is one that crosses evenly. So I can't put it here because that doesn't cross at the intersection, but I can put it here. And so depending on if you like the counting or using the equation, I'm going to do the counting way first, then I'll do the equation in a second. Starting at this point, I'm going to go down 1. So this was down 1. So I went down 1, and then I went over 2. So then my slope, because I went down, and because this is going downwards, is going to be a negative. So since I went down 1, I'm going to go negative 1 over 2. So then my slope would be negative 1/2. So I'm also going to do it with the equation for those people that like to see the equation behind it. My first point was, oh no, I'm going to run out of time, 0, 2. And my second point was 2, 1. So again, to find this, I did 1 minus 2, because I did this one minus this one. And then to find that one, I did 2 minus 0. Hopefully that made sense. You guys are doing exactly that for the rest of it. You're just finding the intercept and the slope and then writing it into your equation. Oops, this would be negative 1/2.